Foolin' Around, directed by Richard Heffron. A working-class boy falls for a girl from a wealthy family and must compete for her with a rich boy who also wants her. Foolin' Around stars Gary Busey, Annette O'Toole, Eddie Albert, and Cloris Leachman. Let's check out Foolin' Around. Foolin' Around stars Gary Busey, Annette O'Toole, Eddie Albert, Cloris Leachman, Tony Randall, William Macy, and John Callan. Directed by Richard T. Heffron. The movie stars Gary Busey, who plays Wes, who rooms with his friend Clay in college. Wes is from Oklahoma. He meets Susan at a lab participating in a science experiment. During the experiment, though, things go awry when Susan accidentally shocks him wearing something above his head and causes severe pain to Wes. But Wes starts falling for Susan because she's beautiful, played beautifully by Annette O'Toole. Little does she know that Annette O'Toole is the granddaughter of Eddie Albert, who basically owns a big, large construction company. And the daughter of Eddie Albert is played by Cloris Leachman. Cloris Leachman is a socialite who also is very wealthy and has a butler by Tony Randall. As a result, Wes can't get Susan out of his mind. So he tries to follow her, be with her, spend time with her, follows her to her house, to her place of work, all to get a date. But she tells him that she's already engaged to be married. Wes finds out that Susan is engaged but still wants to go out with her. So Wes gets a tennis invite from Susan. Wes tries to learn tennis overnight, and he fails miserably. Susan takes Wes sailboating, and boat capsizes, where they get their first kiss. Susan and Wes go out on her bridal shower and fall in love. So, after the fiancé starts sabotaging Wes from seeing Susan, Wes goes up to meet up with the grandfather, played by Eddie Albert, to tell him, you know what, I want to say goodbye to Susan, but she won't see me, she won't talk to me, so just tell her, I wish her well and that I love her, and thank you, it was a pleasure meeting you. And Eddie Albert says, no, wait a minute, you need to fight for her. And so he basically says, what you need to do is give me a ring. He puts a ring out on a scaffolding at the construction site, where he makes him walk the plank to get it. So Wes decides to tell Susan that he loves her and rides a hang glider to stop the wedding. So in a nutshell, this is about a young man who falls in love with a very, very wealthy woman named Susan, and he's poor. He's a student, but he'll do anything to win her over. He can't compete with the rich fiancé. He has no money, he doesn't have the clothes, doesn't have anything to offer her other than to be genuine. Susan likes that. He's genuine. He has flaws, but she likes that. And she's falling in love with Wes. But she's torn between Wes and her fiancé. So she tries to break off with Wes and say, look, I'm getting married. But then she realizes she cannot go on with the marriage because she's not in love with her fiancé. She's fallen in love with Wes. So Wes doesn't know this yet. He basically does everything, climbs through hoops, uh, he gets on hang gliders, buses, gets into all this entanglement to try to get to the wedding, to break up the wedding, to stop the wedding. But he doesn't know that she already broke up with him. So it's a love story where he tries to get the girl denies him, the girl changes his mind, the girl wants him, and it's a beautiful love story. This movie came out in 1980. It's a great movie, great cast. Tony Randall is perfectly cast as the butler, and all he ever says is, thank you, madam. Thank you, madam. So if you insult him or tell him what to do, he just says, thank you, madam. Thank So check out Fooling Around if you haven't already. It's a great movie. It's a fun movie. Out of 5 stars, I give this a 4 because it has a lot of great stars in it. Eddie Albert, Cloris Leachman, Tony Randall, they're no longer with us. We still have Gary Busey. We still have Annette O'Toole. But to see these actors back in 1980. It was a fun movie. It's a good movie. It's a feel-good movie. I give this a 4 out of 5. I'm Tony. Thanks for watching Yesteryear today, and I'll see you all in the next video.